Hello, my name is Cody the Coin Raptor, and welcome to my channel. I am here to provide you the best crypto information and crypto content that I can, and also take a look at some chart analysis, starting with Bitcoin, as usual. So, with Bitcoin, it's been mostly trading sideways since yesterday. One thing really important to note here is that it's trying to make a higher series of lows here, and it's succeeding for the most part. Now, where this really comes to test is this resistance level right here, 21,700. Now, for Bitcoin to continue with this series of higher lows, it's going to have to break through this level here. Now, another thing that I've noticed that's really important here is that these, when it comes to breakouts and breaking out of support, oftentimes what you want to see is you want to see these long green candles here, and these long green candles are showing you that there is a massive amount of volume driving these long green candles and pushing the price up. But what we're seeing here right now in the last day or so is just very, very short green candles, and it almost looks like the volume is starting to tick off a little bit. So today we had a very brief run up because we had a very strong NASDAQ today, and like I mentioned yesterday, there were a lot of contracts that were expiring today, and so what we've seen is a very strong upward move in correlation with the NASDAQ's move. The NASDAQ closed up, I think, 2 or 3%, so that reflects normally in Bitcoin. What's important to note here is that this resistance level has not been breached yet, and in my opinion, this uptrend is looking very weak. Now, if it does break this resistance point here, then I think we may have the start of a trend reversal. We may. I'll be watching this point. If it breaks through this level, I will be the first to talk about it on my Twitter account, so make sure you follow me on Twitter. And I'll be watching this to see if it does do that breakout. Now, if it doesn't, instead it comes up here and it gets rejected again off this level, just like over here, what you're going to see is a double top forming. And you get a double top, and that means it's bearish sentiment, and it's probably going to retrace all the way back down here, back into support into these levels here. Now, for me personally, I'm looking for Bitcoin under 19, let's say under 20, and then under 19. That would be a very attractive spot for me to buy. However, if you also wish to buy the breakout, like some people like to buy the breakout, they will go up here and they'll buy as soon as they get a strong series of candles above this support level. That's also a tactic that some people use. This is not financial advice. Do your own research, okay? But for now, I think that especially given the macroeconomic circumstances, this is just looking really weak. And Saturday was a day of major selling last week. So we'll see what happens this week. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be putting out my video tomorrow, and I will update you guys on Twitter. All right, so Ethereum, much, much stronger than Bitcoin. You can see here, massive breakout on Ethereum. You have, again, these green candles, these very long green candles. That's what you look for in order to push above that resistance level, this all too important 1200 resistance level. And naturally, as we can see here, Bitcoin went up, but Ethereum always goes up more or down more because it's a risk asset. Now we have new resistance here coming in at about 1257 or so. So 1257, and then above that level, you're looking at probably around 1300, just as a psychological level of support. This right now is looking very strong, but again, it follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum's also going to go down too. So that's something to remember here. Now that this level has been breached, this level is now support. So about 1200 or so, you're going to find some strong support. Okay. Lastly, let's take a look at the dollar index. Last time we talked about this, it was trading sideways and narrowing, and look at that. It's right on the cusp here of falling through. And if it falls through this sideways pennant that we have going on here, then that's extremely bearish. If it can't find support here at this level at about $103.50, that's incredibly bearish for this. And again, Bitcoin trades to the inverse of the dollar index, so that would be very bullish for Bitcoin. All right. Now, next bit of information here. Glassnode recently put out a new metric, and they said that the number of addresses holding 1+ of Bitcoin just reached an all-time high of 836,922. So you can see here, you have the chart, and it is a massive increase in the number of addresses that hold at least one coin. So one good thing about this bear market is that you've had multiple opportunities to accumulate at least one coin, become a whole coiner. And so this has reached an all-time high. Very impressive. I think this is a bullish sign personally, but bullish for the long term rather than, I'm not going to say this is bullish for the short term, but definitely bullish for the long term, because the more people that can accumulate, more addresses that can accumulate these 1+ coins, the better. It just goes to show you, again, adoption is increasing. Right? Now, all right, let's get to our new segment. So, crypto firm Harmony, U.S. crypto firm Harmony was hit by a $100 million heist. So we have another crypto firm that got that had a heist, and the thieves stole about $100 million worth of coins, and this is becoming something that is needs to be looked out for in the crypto space. A lot of the time you have these bridges, right? You have these bridges, and so what a bridge is, it's essentially a way to transport coins or value from one blockchain to another blockchain. And you see that this isn't even the first bridge hack we've had, but a lot of these thieves like to exploit these bridges, and they will exploit the underlying software, usually they're smart contracts, and they will exploit them and transfer money to their own addresses. So these bridges have been hacked many times before, and unfortunately, I don't expect that to change anytime soon. And you can see that over $1 billion has been stolen from bridges so far in 2022. And because these bridges are incredibly easy to exploit, something's wrong with the smart contract, it's not coded correctly, or they find an exploit, that is very common and seems to happen quite a bit. And the moral of the story here is utilizing these bridges. What you want to do is you want to make sure you retain your private keys. And I personally stay away from these bridges because I'm not sure exactly how secure they are, but your mileage may vary. Next. Very important. Goldman Sachs, leading investing group to buy Celsius assets. All right, so Celsius is something we've talked about many times so far, and Celsius, it is rumored that they're going to be going bankrupt because they've hired insolvency lawyers and bankruptcy lawyers, and unfortunately that would result in the loss of many investor assets if they declared bankruptcy. And so it looks like Goldman Sachs is trying to gather up at least $2 billion to buy some of these distressed assets at a steep discount. Okay, so Goldman Sachs is coming in. They're going to be trying to buy those assets if Celsius declares bankruptcy. That's not a given. There's nothing that I've read and seen so far that says that it's a foregone conclusion that Celsius is going to declare bankruptcy. But if it does, Goldman Sachs might come in and buy some of these assets. I'm not sure if that means that customers could potentially get their assets back. I don't know. This is kind of speculation at this point, but we would like to see some new information come out of Celsius about their insolvency or their illiquidity to pay some of their debt. Okay, so we'd like to see that information. All right, so that's all I got for you today. If you like my content, please give me a like, a follow, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter. Okay, this is Cody the Coin Raptor signing out.